disclaimer, I haven't done this talk yet, so it's the first try for this, first iteration, so it's going to be horrible. Um, how many of you have are responsible for your teamwork or own an agency or have a CXO position? Two. Okay. This is a talk more than for individuals. It's more for agencies and how to work with teams and get contribution. I think we are continuously learning and hearing how you should contribute to Drupal and why is open source important and things like that. This is not about that. This is about like greedy, egoist, selfish capitalism, and why is contribution good for that? Let's see if that approach works, because the other one is not working very well, is it? I'm a Drupal person, contributor. I've been contributing code, events, mentoring, you name it, for 18 plus years. My God, we're old. I have a small company called Cambrico in Spain. I was one of the first organizers of the first Drupal camp in Spain, in Barcelona. Sorry. Yeah. Are you alright? Yeah. You drink some water or something. Founder of the Spanish Association. That's my Drupal community handler in the there. It's Cambra. I have stickers for the Drupal community Mastodon server. So if you don't know it, you can just go to Drupal community. We have a federated server there. You may manage to run. And below that is my Drupal.org username, which is Pcambra as well. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Agenda. So I have this in three parts: individual, teams, and agencies. Okay, why is it? Why can you get benefits of contributing? This is again for your benefit, not to the benefit of the common goods, you name it, the open source world, the project itself. This is what can you get in that way. And this is about growth, learning opportunities, and cost as well. Again, it's like, you know exactly why you should be contributing to Drupal, right? I don't have to tell you, so this is not about this, and that says next slide. So I've done some research. I got my university degree last year. I finally finished it, and my final, how you call it, like the thesis or whatever, was about two things: the shortcuts module in Drupal.org, which ended at nowhere for the time being, but that's not about this, and how are the processes in Drupal working for contribute. How do you get something from an idea to the actual code, which I failed miserably, but I passed, so there's that. So I didn't pass the Drupal test, but I got my degree. And one of the parts was about this, like what motivates individuals and companies to contribute back, to put their grain of salt or grain of sand on working. Like for individuals, and this is based on surveys, and I have, when I share the screens, I have a very academic references of where are all this information coming from. So this is not my opinion, this is research based. People say that they are having fun contributing to open source, which I can share. They share knowledge, and that's motivating. They get better employment opportunities, and they get reputation among peers and employers. So if you contribute, you get kind of reputation. And then we're going to talk about altruistic ideological beliefs, which is one of the points they mentioned. But whenever you look at them, probably a lot of you will identify with this. Whenever you look for something in the internet or in academic world, you will find that some people have done some research saying A, and some people have done some research that completely claims that A is false, and is another thing. And we are going to talk about gift economy, like how the altruistic ideology may not be so altruistic after all. And then companies contribute because they bring them innovation. They can sell whatever they contribute, or they can sell services around what they contribute. They save maintenance cost, which is an absolute truth, it's undeniable. And they share, when they share their code, and the community helps maintaining their code, finding security bugs, that's a benefit for them. They can influence projects, win hearts and minds. Just what you don't see there, influence projects by being a stakeholder. So if you put enough resources, you can become a stakeholder on the project itself, on open source that you're contributing to, and you can maybe influence the direction. And that's a major point if it depends on if your business depends on that particular software, like say Drupal. And then they can also escape. It says just escaping there. That's fun. They can escape license model and vendor locking. So they are not locked because they are using open source. They are not locked to some like provider or license model. And let's talk about altruism. There is something called psychological egoism, which claims that altruism doesn't exist. When you get something out of something, you stop being altruistic. You're doing because it benefits you. And there's very little research saying that given like ethical decision, if one of the options will actually harm you, you are not going to do that, no matter how altruistic you feel you are. That's, again, one of the opinions about this. And this is this connects us with the previous slide that says gift economy, like how people can, in open source projects, exchange some virtual, I'm going to say currency, it's not the best word, but if you contribute enough, you gain like some sort of reputation or karma that you can spend in something else. So it is really kind of a currency, because it's not something that you exchange in the moment for other thing. It's not like a how you say trueque in English? It's not like you're bargaining. Yeah, it's not you're changing. I'll give you 2 goats. You give me 3 salts, three bags of grain. You know, it's like I contribute this now. I gain this reputation, and then I can ask for things later. That's what the gift economy is, and this is a research that's been done. So maybe if you are altruistically contributing, you're already gaining something. You can ask for things later because of your reputation, because you're, I don't know, maybe you get invited to events. Maybe you can ask for someone that you know in the community to do something that you need, and get something faster. Or banter? Barter. Trueque. Okay. Yeah. So depending, I mean, you can also argue that if your original interest is altruistic, it already counts. But there's some research that says if you get something out of it, maybe not. I have a problem with the makers takers issue. Like, we really want people to use Drupal, don't we? Is there someone in this room that doesn't want people to use Drupal? We want them. It's like, why do we care they're takers? I want them to use Drupal, right? So, I think it's very simplistic to say if you don't contribute back, you're a taker. Like, you're already using Drupal. This is good for us. Use Drupal. I'm talking about companies and large projects and things. I mean, I don't know if the Drupal community cares about the hobbyists anymore, but so individuals. Some things, what is in for me? No, it's not why it's in for Drupal. It's what it is in for me. I'm going to be very narrow, very like tunnel focus in Drupal instead of open source as a large. Okay. So you can steal the ideas from the code. You can look at someone else's code and say, "Oh yes, this is a good idea. I'm going to steal it from my project. This is going to save me so much time. I'm going to understand this code, and 3 months from now, you're going to forget you stole it. It's already yours." The work ethics like that require you to contribute is really important. Like you cannot in a project you have a goal, a deadline, you have rush, you have stakeholder maybe that says, "Do we need this?" And then you push something. It's maybe not very good, but it works, right? It makes it does the job. This doesn't run if you want to contribute something. It is not enough. So it gives you like it elevates you. It elevates the standards that you need to follow, and that's good for you. It makes you a good professional. And it also forces you to document, which I'm sure you all do, as I do in all your client projects. Scratch your own itch is something that you probably read a lot if you're interested in this subject at all. Like you have an issue, you solve it, you contribute it back. What's the harm in there? And then again, gift economy, reputation. If you gain reputation, if you may also gain bad reputation contributing, and we are going to talk about that too. But that's good. If people knows your name, people know your name, people in your niche, your community know your name. Maybe it's good for your employability, although we're also going to talk about the downsides of that. So if people know you, you have one step ahead. It's like if for employability in the pile of CVs that companies may receive, if they already know you, you have a head start, right? So that's something. It's a career boost. You may. This is a rant, nothing to do with this talk at all, but hiring is so broken. It is so broken, I want to cry. Companies ask you to do code tests, code samples, jump ropes, give blood tests, whatever. If you have something in the open, you can give them that. It's like, hey, I have that in the open. I contributed. I did this. Maybe that saves you a little bit of headache in a hiring process. Maybe not, depending on who you're interviewing for. You can get opportunities in the field that you're contributing because, as you know, hard work is rewarded with more hard work. So if you do the hard work contributing, maybe there's someone that wants to pay you for that if you're lucky enough. Or maybe in your company they say, hey, this is the field expert for, I don't know, Drupal has many flavors, right? This is a field expert for search or for commerce or for, I don't know, say something. Give me some more examples. Front end. Oh? The delivery, I don't know, there's some things you don't want to be an expert for, but maybe you can contribute in your company time, which is good as well, right? Because then you maybe have less client pressure because you are a specialist on this subject in particular. So that's good for you. There's some like a legend that says something like, I don't know if this is true in France, but in Spain people say that there's like 80% of job opportunities that don't get published. Does that make any sense to you? That's I haven't found any evidence of this number at all. Like this kind of a urban legend. But a lot of feelings of job feelings in companies are not published at all ever. Like, you know something, you recommend something, and if the company is probably small enough, they are not going to even open a hiring process, especially for freelancers, for consultants, things like that. They are going to be like a word to mouth to ear, um, basis to basis, right? So it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know in this case. Like, it gives you an advantage. It's like if you're contributing, you come to events like this, you go to DrupalCon, you go to sprints, you know people, they may recommend you for an opening in their company or someone they know. Um, that's a good thing for you. It's not a good thing. Is it a good thing? Are you that altruistic if you contribute? You're getting quite a bit of things, right? I crossed this. It's like I was trying to get a title for this slide and say how to get. No, it's not how. It's like advice. Um, if you get involved, go to places. Go to events. Find the people that are contributing already. Talk to them. There's this thing called Drupal CMS. I don't know if you heard about it. Uh, Lots of opportunities to contribute there and get involved, I think. Um, there's this novice task in Drupal.org that also can get you in some things, depending on it is your interest. Don't contribute in, this is recorded, don't contribute in things that are not interesting to you. Contribute in things that like really interest you. Otherwise, we're going to discuss about this in the company part. Otherwise, you end up like contribution Fridays, things that are not meaningful. And contribute back because it benefits you, not because it benefits the project, because it's the common good or the greater good, or contribute because it's good for you as well. Work in your projects when instead of fixing your thing, trying to think that this thing that you're fixing may not be your thing, may be a thing that is broader, that you can abstract and you can then fix from the abstraction. Like one is not seen there. One is a special case of many. It says there. Like if you fix something, maybe you fix it with a mindset that this could be contributed. Maybe no one never uses it. Who cares? Maybe they use it. And lead by example. And do not base your contributions in your available free time. I repeat, do not do that ever. It's like your free time is for you, and it's good to have like little side projects. Just don't do that. It's like companies should pay for this because it's good for them, and we're going to talk about that. Any comments? I have a lot of opinions about this. I'm probably very wrong in many of them, so please say something if you see something. For teams, this is very entangled with the individuals, but it is interesting that organic projects that grow organically, like an open source project like Drupal, they tend to be tremendously well organized, surprisingly well organized in the way things are working. It is not perfect. By all means, it's not perfect. But it is really well organized, and probably better organized than your own company and your own team. Because it's like, there was like 1 million accounts in Drupal.org at some point. Like, how are you going to beat that? If your team is used to contribute, not only the team members, but if your team has a culture of finding like this abstraction of having being used to contribute, being used to the processes, they already have a shared language, and it is really good that your team has speak a somehow similar language. It's really good for teams. It is more cohesive. Okay, more controversy. So empathy and inclusiveness. I'm going to go from bottom to top. Open source project Drupal in particular is really good in terms of like codes of conduct, inclusiveness, things like that. If your team is sensible to this, you don't really know how good this is. It is so good. It is so you are so way ahead of some I mean of everyone else in this area. If you follow these guidelines, it is it is going to give you so much joy and less friction. And this lands with the first topic, which is, have you ever seen a pull request? Really? Have you ever seen one with comments on it? Are you happy about that? Are you happy about those comments? Are you happy about the tone of those comments?
No, it's better than the one without comments. They are better than the one without comments.
Are they really? Are they really? Even if you're like the people that are doing the comments are rude and are. That's what I'm asking, because I've seen some pull requests.
What you talk about internal projects.
I talk, yes, mainly. And although, well, in public people tend to.
Today you can, for example, use ChatGPT and say, please do my
Lower the tone of this.
Make me nice.
Make me nice, that's good. ChatGPT. I think this, but I want to be very British.
I do it as
You do it.
sometimes,
Yeah. I mean, that's good advice.
maybe I'm too rough.
You should put that filter on Drupal.org.
No, not on Drupal. I mean,
Yeah, like internal, like if you, there are some people in contributed in like in open source in the open that make comments in pull requests that are questionable. The tone, the roughness, but that's not the norm. And if they do that in the open, imagine the internal project pull request. I'm saying that if your team is used to work in the open, they're going to be exposed. It's like everyone can see like your comment in this pull request forever, or as long as GitLab lives. That's a good thing. Your team is going to get used to that kind of empathy, that kind of not everything. It is not better to be right. Sometimes it's just a tab. It's not two spaces. How big of a deal that is, really? So yeah, if your team is used to follow these things, you're halfway done. The people are going to be more. They're going to treat each other better, and that's always good. There we go. And this is for my favorite part. Like I read this interview with the lead developer Lyft, and I thought this quote was gold. Not an open source purist, I'm a capitalist. So open source for them, it is so fundamental in their business that they consider it as a cheaper option of not being open source, and we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about also what are the purchasing agencies. And I may not be completely accurate with this, so please tell me. You have people that or companies that have this casual. This is not that common anymore, but it used to be a thing in Drupal that you have like contribution Fridays. You have a 20%, right? Like this was Google motto a while back. Like they had like 20% or 30% or the time for contribution, things like that. This is not true anymore, but some people do that still. Like you send your team to sprints in events, and that's all your contribution. That's not meaningful. That's not working. That's not helping anyone. Casual contribution doesn't help anyone. Doesn't help the project. Doesn't help your company. Doesn't give you nothing. So you need to be more process based. You need to work in your domain. Maybe your company does more like I don't know, work for non-profits or work for institutions or work for I don't know, e-commerce sites or things like that. That's your domain. Your company has a domain. Use that for contribution. Especially with Drupal CMS, you have a really good opportunity for this. And that can optimize costs for you. Okay, that's one option. You have external contribution, like you have budget and you pay someone to contribute and give you back some like karma points or whatever it gives you back. You pay money, you feel good, that person feels good, the project moves forward. Very little value for your company as a capitalist business. And then core business, there are companies that are open source at the core, like everything they do is in the open. Maybe they have a product, maybe they have a service they sell things around. Like I think I saw last week MailJet, like it's kind of a MailChimp thing, like newsletters and stuff. They have this UI where you can drag and drop components to build your campaign for sending an email to whoever you're sending your newsletters to. All that UI is open source. Who you gonna hire if you need to build something similar, right? Feel free to disagree. I have a few things why companies should contribute and what is good for them. Like companies love to privatize profits and socialize losses. That's a complete business model of our society. If you crowdsource the public codes, then the community is going to help you maintain that. You have people looking for bugs. You have people fixing your stuff maybe before even you discover there's a bug. Maybe people have special use case that you didn't think about. Maybe they're using it for something completely ridiculous that you say, well, this is stupid, but then you think, hey, that was not a bad idea. But this has a caveat. This only works if you are in the winning team. If there are competing solutions and your solution doesn't win, you have double work. You have to maintain it privately and in public. So you better be in the winning team. This is a risky move. For example, if you are contributing something, I don't know, in design systems like Fractal or Open or what was Atomic Design, something like you're not on the winning team right now. So you better stop contributing that. You need to be in the winning team to do that. So open source is hard work in terms of documentation, tests. The standards are higher. The standards are normally really, really high, especially in a project like Drupal. More eyes looking at your code, more eyes looking at your solutions, better feedback, more quality, less maintenance costs. Building in the open. And that doesn't mean necessarily open source. You can have your project be in the open, not be in open source. That's also a thing. A lot of cultural benefits. We mentioned that people will treat each other better. They have a mindset of collaboration. It is a good thing. Why wouldn't you like that? And then, yeah, this is probably very opinionated, but enterprise software is really bad. It's really, really bad. If you look at the internals, I'm sure, I don't want to name, but if you look at the internals of some CRMs, and probably you want to cry. It is not, enterprise is normally built for some stakeholders that are not the user, not the final user of the thing. So that's normal, why it's fundamentally flawed. And also, it costs money. You actually have to pay a license for it, and it is bad. Why would you want that? And then hey, it's like you hire some CRM and then you only have official support from very few vendors, and they're expensive and they are not very good at their job. Again, if you have control on the project that this is again for large, when you go big on things, control on strategic positions on the code that you code. I'm saying code, but it's not really just code. Okay. On the artifacts that you're contributing gives you more reputation, more adoption, more knowledge. You know more than the company next to you. It's like if you are contributing and you are a lead contributor in something, I'm going to keep saying commerce because it's so easy to put an example with e-commerce stuff. You will know better than the person or company that is competing with you, like in RFPs or whatever. You are a lead contributor on the thing, right? It gives you higher benefits and winning benefits. If you are on the contributing side and you are maintaining, looking at pull requests, you get knowledge on how people are using the things, and that gives you an advantages. There's a study that shows that if you contribute back, you get 100% more value of what you contribute. Like you get experience, you get knowledge, you get a lot of things. If you don't contribute it, it's in your repo, and that's where it dies. And finally, if you have a large project, I have a composer JSON file with 65 patches on it right now. I want volunteers to maintain that. No one? Damn it. But the maintenance cost of that is really, really high. And what I'm saying is, like, this is very specific, but if you have things that are semi-broken and you're maintaining like the glue or the chewing gum that keeps everything together, you may as well work on the patch or work on the final fix of it, because it's going to give you so much benefit in the long term. If you're thinking long-term maintenance costs, I want those 65 patches in, so my composer JSON file is happy, and I don't have to carry those patches all over again every time I update Drupal. I don't think contribution. I think a lot of companies say that contribution gives them like reputation benefits or marketing, like like the certified partner, things like that. They give you like something. I think it's that meme. It's like who cares? Really, who cares? Are your competing companies going to care? Not much. Are your clients going to care how much you contribute to Drupal? Maybe. Not because you're contributing. It's not a marketing effort. It's a lead effort. It's sales effort, but it's not really marketing. It's not really about reputation. There are many companies, even in the Drupal ecosystem, that couldn't care less about what reputation they have in the community. It's and there's something that is happening, and I find it interesting that hiring may give you reputation, maybe give you an advantage on hiring. You can hire someone for less money that is a reputable contributor, if you are a reputable contributor too, and that happens. But no one outside your niche is going to care about your marketing effort as a contribution. No. Yes, this is one of my favorite ones. Like the risk of contribution is like, okay, contribute, but be careful. We are obsessed about measuring contributions. We are obsessed. We've been forever. Anyone remember Certified to Rock? It was a website that you enter your Drupal.org username and give you like a 1 to 11 thing in how you are certified to rock. Yeah, I never got past like 4 or something. It was frustrating, but we are obsessed with this. We are getting like the Drupal Association gets like a program for it. There's like credits in Drupal.org issues. Like a commit to Drupal core will get you like 10 times like a reputation, like a normal commit, something like that. Is that right? It's 10 times? Okay. And that comes with companies misunderstanding what's going on and say, well, let's go and put some 100 people to just generate noise in Drupal.org issues and I don't know, do meaningless contributions that give us like a 1 point here, 1 point there. This is such a problem that there's even like a issue in Drupal.org like shaming companies on doing this. So you don't want to contribute and get scalded for it, right? So be careful. That's why I'm saying like maybe these kind of 20% contribution Fridays, things like that, casual contribution can lead to this, and you need to be careful. You need to be more consistent. And then when you do external, when you take the external path, or when you sponsor one person, what happens if that person leaves? It leaves with all their reputation. That's not good for you, is it? So you need to have a better process than paying an individual. It needs to be better. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying you need to be more strategic about it. And then again, as I said, like if you invest, you go all in, and your technology or your solution is not the winning one, you are kind of screwed. Like if you were in Drupal 7 and you bet for UberCard instead of betting for commerce, you're probably in a really bad position. And there's also something I've heard in the community from time to time, is people that get too excited about contribution and kind of neglect a little bit their own like work. So don't do that either. That's a risk. I always wanted to have a Venn diagram in one slide, and that's my Venn diagram. Like you have this is just a final note on companies that may have the open source as their core model, or as something closer to their core model. Like maybe you're a product company, you can contribute things. You cannot contribute your secret sauce, but Mailjet contributes their campaign builder. It's an API, it's a tool, gives them like a edge. It's a good thing. If you contribute back things and there's enough adoption, you can accelerate feedback. If you're a product company, you really care about that. It's like you care about people using your thing, even if you're not full product. It's like you have your users that are using your product and give you feedback, but you're having open source project using your tools, and that gives you feedback on that as well. That's a good thing. If you are professional services, like you sell Drupal as an agency that does development, contributing gives you like an expertise in your niche. You can improve your workflows, your hiring, you're protected with vendor lock-in, against vendor lock-in, because you don't have to pay licenses or things. And then if you are in the winning part, your technology leaderships can drive more contribution. And if you are getting it, there's just one thing better than contributing back, is like others contribute back for you, and that's what you want. That's what you want when you're looking at leadership, because then it's less cost for you. If someone else does the job, it's great, right? It's like, I have a module in Drupal.org, I need a feature for a client, and someone else has needed as well, and they did it before I did. So that's in the module, everyone wins. Especially the client who gets everything faster, so that makes me look good. So again, altruism. Even if altruism doesn't exist, because when you contribute, you get so much back. It's like just be egoist, be selfish and contribute to open source. There. And then yeah, finally I have related talks. Some of them haven't happened yet, so I'm putting it here because they're interesting to track. Boris is doing a series of finding success in contribution. Like I'm not quoting because that I'm quoting because of that's the name of the talk literally. And he did it at Drupal Jam, and I'm sure he's going to do it in some other events. Don't miss that. It's a good one. James Shields is going to do one. I really like the title. It's like let the community code your module. It's like just be as lazy and selfish as you can be. And he's going to do this in DrupalCon Vienna. I'm looking forward to that. There was a panel on the Drupal credit system in DrupalCon Singapore, making it less gamifiable, if that's possible. But at the end, it's like just be responsible of your contributions. It's a risk if you contribute and you get called out because you're doing, like, I don't know. AI contributions are a big deal right now, and there are people that are contributions like I don't know, README fixes, or your info YAML has a space extra, and they do this in hundreds of modules. They're going to be called out, and you don't want that. And then making open source profitable by Anastasia. She's going to come to Drupal Camp Spain on September, and she's going to do this talk. So if you want to see her live, come to Santiago de Compostela in September.
In Spanish or English?
It's in English. Yeah, she doesn't speak a lot of Spanish, unfortunately, but she's going to come to do this keynote in English in September. And then I have a collection of random notes related with all of this. When I share this, you can check this out if you're interested. And that's it. Merci beaucoup.